Hi everyone, I'm Alex. I was just telling Adam that we met for the first time 15 years ago, roughly this weekend, as a matter of fact, at Vanderbilt in college. It was October of 2000, as I recall, and we became fast friends. When Adam asked me to do this, I promised him that I would be very judicious in my recollections. We are going back to college. The problem with that is that I'm sitting next to Adam, and there are a number of knives of various and Mrs. Shipley is here, so I'll be very judicious. But the fact is, though, that when it comes to Adam, as anyone knows, there's not that much that one would have to be very judicious about in the retelling. Because Adam is the picture of poise and decorum. As a matter of fact, I just looked up Black's Law Dictionary on my iPad, and I hesitated to go this route because we've already gone through the elements of a contract formation. And if you look up the definition of the reasonable person, the first reference there is C. Adam Andrew Shipley. Yes, during the ceremony today, I heard a lot of familiar themes. Let's see, occasional fussiness came up. Incessant organization. Well, Steve, you're a good man. I wish you all the best. But I also heard a familiar acronym that resonated in particular, WWAD, or what would Adam do? That's a question that I asked myself countless times over the last 15 years since I knew Adam. As you may know, Adam worked as a guide, leading expeditions of whitewater rafters down the Salmon River in Idaho a couple summers when he was younger. And I think that's what Adam is for a lot of the people who know him and for his friends. He's a guide. In college, we saw examples of injustice, and I was always in awe as I watched Adam work to remedy those in his own special way. He's compassionate and kind. He's gifted. He's brilliant. He's everything anyone could want in a friend, certainly in a husband, and in a son and a son-in-law. And so, I think that there's really not that much more that can be said other than just that you've both done very well. I will say this, though, to circle back to the thing from earlier, I heard the comparison to a professor. Adam, very well at that. He taught me several very important things over the course of knowing him. First, never, ever, 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 under any circumstances, should you ever use a cell phone at supper. There was an occasion in college, I would swear that he told me that I should sit like a gentleman. So, Mrs. Shipley, if you ever have any doubt that you've raised fine, upstanding, take it from me. When my husband and I first met Steve, we knew immediately that Steve was the one for Adam. Adam and I have taken many journeys together. We've been, to a number of foreign countries, strange places like the American South. Thank God we got out of there. And all these journeys that we took, really, some really phenomenal places, Europe, the Caribbean. We were both taking our own personal journey, one that we didn't talk about with each other, a journey that I imagine Adam's was very much like mine, and I imagine he wondered with great hope and great optimism whether and when he would find the one person who is the apple of his eye, who returns all the love that he had to give in his heart, who would be, if I may quote a pop culture reference, his sun, moon, and stars. And the day we met Steve, there was no question in my mind that Adam found that person. So, Steve, it is just a tremendous pleasure to know you and Adam, and we wish you all the best. So, to the happy couple.
All right. And our last toast tonight will be given by Adam and Steve's old friend as well, Nick. Let's hear it for Nick.
Shalom, Erev Tovah. Did I say that right? For all of you who don't know, that means Hebrew. Hello, good evening. I cheated and did a one-day bar mitzvah in Israel, so just so I can say those words. So I'm honored that Steve asked me to speak to it at his wedding. In fact, a couple days ago, I received an email from Adam in true attorney fashion that said we were to give speeches after salad service. We were only allowed to speak for 2 to 3 minutes. And in case we should have any questions or concerns, he left his direct work number, mobile, home office, and office address in case somebody would call me. So how am I doing so far on time, Adam? Okay, I'm not counting. I kept with the theme. For those of you that don't know, my name is Nick Parrish, and I've known Steve since middle school. I'm unsure how we became friends because we were so different. I gravitated towards the derelict crowd, and Steve liked to surround himself with people that were improving themselves or going somewhere. Last night at the rehearsal dinner, Bruce said to me, there was a point when Wendy and I were concerned if you were going to turn out okay or not. Steve, I'm glad you never lost faith in me, and it's because of you that I turned out okay, and with the help of others. I'm glad, though, that my derelict lifestyle always provided me with great stories to tell you, and I think part of you live vicariously through me with my derelict adventures. Maybe that is why you turned out so great. Steve and I became great friends due to our love of the outdoors. In high school, we spent 2 summers in Alaska and Colorado, mountain biking, river rafting, backpacking, rock climbing, ice climbing, kayaking, camping, doing other extreme sports. If you named it, we probably did it. Back then, if you knew Steve, you knew that he was an adventurer, a traveler, taekwondo artist, karting enthusiast, always looking to solve the world's greatest problems. He couldn't go anywhere with his Nikon camera and its 50 attachments. He had the ability to run full speed on a treadmill while reading. I'm still amazed at that. I don't know how you do that. He loved his peanut butter smoothies with honey. Don't forget the honey. Eating sushi. Drinking water like a whale, and I'm sorry, Steve, you always have to pee. I don't think much has changed today. I feel bad for anyone that took us out for sushi, because we can eat an all-you-can-eat sushi bar under the table. Thank you, Bruce and Wendy, for all those great dinners. You know, it's interesting that coincidentally, and without talking about it, Steve and I both went to the University of Oregon, and we finished our degrees at the University of Arizona. We both came back to San Diego to pursue higher education. He has a career in healthcare, and I have a career in real estate. Even though our aspirations and interests are different, our paths were very similar, and I wouldn't change these memories for anything. Adam, what you need to know about Steve, that you may already know, is he's generous, he's hardworking, he's hilarious, he has an infectious personality that people gravitate towards. He's compassionate, dedicated to whatever he's doing. He's a foodie like you, an adventurer, energetic, and free-spirited. If you get anything from this speech, watch out for the free spirit. Somehow Steve convinced me one night in Tucson that it was a good idea to bike ride in the top of Sabino Canyon on the tram road at night. He had a nice bike with disc brakes, and I had an old-school skater bike, as Steve would call it, with old rubber brakes.
And no helmet.
And no helmet, yes, I was an idiot. After reaching the top, we turned around and proceeded to go downhill. I couldn't slow down, and I veered out of control and off a bridge 12 feet below. I was lucky that I landed in the only sand at the bottom, surrounded by rocks. Steve thought I was dead for sure, and was trying to figure out how to explain this to my parents. It's true. He was freaking out. Well, fortunately for Steve, I'm here to tell the story, but be warned, Steve is capable of getting you into anything, Adam. The good news is he'll always be there to pick you up, and your life will never be boring, which is the way it should be. Steve, I'm elated that you found your other half. Adam is the yin to Steve's yang, and you balance each other well. If we all can be so lucky to have the love that you two share. I wish you both a life filled with love, happiness, success, and most importantly, never-ending adventures. One once said, to love someone deeply gives you strength. Being loved by someone deeply gives you courage. If you can all raise a toast, one last time to Steve and Adam. Mazel tov.
Let's hear it one last time for always wanting to toast. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your entrees will be served very shortly.